I get a lot of questions when it comes to rest pause technique. And most of you know rest pause from my Shortcut to Size program, but I also incorporate rest pause in a lot of my other programs as well. The questions though that I get on rest pause is, well, first of all, is how do you do it precisely? And then does that count as one of the sets? So with Shortcut to Size, for example, the first exercise that you do for most of the main muscle groups, like chest, for example, that first exercise, bench press, you do 4 sets. Now, you do a rest pause on the last set, on the 4th set. So what does that mean? Does that mean you do 3 sets and then rest pause counts as the 4th set? No, you actually do 4 sets with your rest periods, and then on the 4th set after hitting muscle failure, you do rest pause. What is rest pause? Well, let's take you through how to do rest pause, and let's just say this is my last set of this exercise. So you don't have to do rest pause on just the last set of each exercise, but I typically incorporate it on the last set just so that you don't fatigue your muscle group so much on the previous sets that it hampers your strength later on those, that second or third or 4th set later on. So I typically save it for that last set when you're basically done and moving on to another exercise. So with rest pause, you basically take the set all the way to failure. So if I'm doing tricep press downs, for example, I'm going to go, let's say this is my 3rd set, if I'm in the 12 to 15 rep range, say, I'm going, and then when I hit failure, I'm going to put the weight down, watch the clock, rest somewhere around 15 seconds, and you don't have to be exact. It can be 10 seconds, it can be 20 seconds, but somewhere around that 15-second mark. Once that time is up, I go right back with the same exact weight, and I continue doing reps of that exercise again until I hit muscle failure. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Now, there's different ways to incorporate rest pause, but for most of my programs, this is the style of rest pause that I'm talking about. So it's just that. You take that set to muscle failure, and then the rest pause is not another set. It's just the continuation of that set that you reached muscle failure on. Because you're only resting about 15 seconds, we're considering it the same set because you really didn't rest long enough. That's why we call it rest pause. It's not really a rest, making that 2 different sets. It's really like just taking a brief little pause, and then you're continuing with the weight. In fact, on some exercises, you don't even have to put the weight down. Like squats, for example. You have the choice of if it's comfortable and you want to stand there with the bar on your back before you continue on, you can just stand there for 15 seconds, which, like I said, a pause. It's a rest pause. Or you can unrack it, but a lot of times, like the squat, by the time you unrack it and then get set back up again, it's 15 seconds are already over. So a lot of times you might as well just stand there with the weight on your shoulder. So you can kind of see with that example where it's not really a whole new set now. It's just like you're taking a little pause in between reps and then continuing the set. So I hope that helps for those of you who are having trouble sort of understanding the rest pause technique. It's like I said, that's simple. You're just taking a brief little pause in between that set and then continuing on with the same exact weight that you're using. It doesn't count as one of those sets. If you're supposed to be doing 4 sets of that exercise, you do all 4 sets. Then the rest pause comes at the end of that 4th set. If it's 3 sets, you do all 3 sets. And then when you hit failure in that 3rd set, you do that rest pause set. That's rest pause in a nutshell. Look for more tips on training, videos, articles, And of course, all my programs, all in one place, jimstoppani.com.